Well, I never thought this would happen. The channel now has over 1,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to thank all of you who followed me over the last few years. You've inspired me to keep going, and I really appreciate your comments and support. I thought you might be interested to know why I set up the channel and how I produce these videos from a spare room in my house. Let's go back a few years. When you're a specialist, you have to keep up to date by going to conferences and seminars. Quite early on in my consultant career, I was invited to give presentations and lectures about the clinical work I was doing. The thought of speaking in public was quite daunting at first, but I really enjoyed it. I've been all over the world talking about hips, and it's been a lot of fun. I realised that the best way of connecting with my audience was to do things a bit differently. I learned a lot from people who could really keep the crowd entertained, rather than just delivering a load of dry facts using PowerPoint. I already had an old camcorder that I used occasionally. I bought a GoPro and started videoing surgery to show in my lectures. Nobody else was doing it at the time, and I realised that video was a fantastic way of keeping people interested in what I was talking about. The invitations to speak kept on coming, and it was a really exciting time. The years went by, and I decided to leave the NHS and work in private practice. This meant that I had to find a way of connecting with my patients so they'd come to me for their hip surgery. Private practice is a competitive business after all. I thought, I'm confident about public speaking and getting ideas across to people, so I started making some videos about what I do and what you might experience if you were thinking about having hip surgery. It'd be a way of marketing my practice and also giving patients a useful resource of information. I looked at hundreds of YouTube videos about equipment, techniques and video editing. I set up a studio in a spare bedroom at home, bought some softbox lights from eBay and started to make videos. It was all pretty amateurish at first, and when I look back at my early videos, they make me cringe. But I kept going. It was great fun and I kept on learning all the time. Then of course came COVID and the dreaded lockdowns. My practice closed down because we weren't allowed to do surgery or even have a haircut. It all felt very dismal at the time. But I've always been someone who sees an opportunity when things seem to be at their worst. So I used the time to learn more about video production and honed my skills, knowing that sooner or later things would get going again. I experimented with doing videos in different locations, like in the car, on my bike.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Most of it hasn't been used, but it really helped me to develop my skills and confidence. Being a bit of a techie, I acquired more and more equipment and needed somewhere bigger to put it all. I persuaded one of my sons to let me use his bedroom, and he went into the smaller one that I'd been using as a studio. It's not a huge room, but it works for me. If you'd like to know what equipment I use, then let me know in the comments below and I'll do a video on it. What's been my most popular video? Well, I was really surprised to see that it's one of my early ones from 5 years ago about complications after hip surgery. It's had over 38,000 views. Overall, the channel has had nearly 175,000 views. Most of the viewers are in the US and India, which is quite interesting. So what's next? Well, I really enjoy doing these videos. They scratch my creative itch. I'll keep doing them for as long as people are interested. Video, after all, is a wonderful way of connecting with people. And as we all know, the growth in online video content has exploded in the last few years. I'd really like to collaborate with people who share my excitement about what video has to offer. And one day, it's my ambition to make a movie. Maybe in another life, as my old piano teacher used to say. If you'd like to get in touch, then the details are below in the description. Thanks again for watching and for supporting this channel. It's been a great pleasure to have you all on board. See you next time.